Today I'm going to tie one of my favorite Chironomid pupil patterns using window tint as the body material. Now we all know there's many good Chironomid pupil patterns out there. I think what's important when you're thinking about tying patterns is how are you going to make your pattern stand out when there's literally thousands and thousands of real ones competing with your fly for the interest of the trout. So there's several things that I think it's important to incorporate into your fly pattern. First one is that the body is slender. Real Chironomids have a slender, naturally tapered body. Second thing is having a distinct rib, which I think helps, makes your pattern stand out from when the real ones are down there. And thirdly, your fly should be having white gills at the tip of the head, and on bigger Chironomid species, gills at the tip of the abdomen as well. And finally, you want to have, in a lot of cases, a bead on your fly. So depending on the color of the bead you use, it can also imitate the wing buds of that Chironomid that's going to be emerging. So incorporating all these different facets to your fly are going to make a pattern that's going to stand out and be selected by a fish amongst all the real ones down there. So let's head to the bench and tie this window tint pattern that I like to use. The hook I'm using is a Daiichi 1760 16. It's a nymph hook, so it's got a slightly curved back. It's 2 extra long shank. I'm using UTC 70 in the rust brown thread for the underbody and for the tying. The rib on this fly is going to be small UTC copper brown wire. The body of this fly is going to be neutral gray window tint, and here's the window tint right here, and then the gills is Uni-Stretch white. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we've got to tie in our white gills, so just laying down a thread foundation. I'm going to take a little bit of our UTC thread, the uni, the white gills, like so. And we want the gills to be fairly prominent. And then we'll trim them after we've finished the fly. So now we got our gills on. Let me slide our bead up there. We try the UTC 70. So I'm going to take our copper brown wire, and we're going to lay it down the back of the fly like so, and then bring it back almost to the bend of the hook. I like tying on these 1760, the nymph hook. So this 16 2X really imitates a 12, a size 12 Chironomid pupa. Be roughly right for that. And so now I'm going to build up the slight taper, and I can spin my thread to thin it out so I get that nice even taper, and I'm not building up a lot of bulk on the underbody. And then when I want to tie something in, I just spin it, tighten it up, tighten the thread up, and then I'm going to take my window tint. So window tint is more translucent than static bag material, so the underbody will show up more clearly. There, like so. Then we're going to take our window tint, and I cut it with a thin razor blade knife to get a nice thin strip. And I'm just wrapping it forward to the bead, making sure it's tied off well. When you cut window tint, there's going to be a clear plastic backing behind it, so you peel that, make sure that's off. And then I'm going to take our brown copper and I wire 5 to 7 ribs. Brown, I love the color of this wire. It really gives it that amber brown color that's very prevalent when you see pupae gassed up, ready to emerge. And this is what this guy's imitating. And then I'm just going to break the wire off. So, and then I'm going to finish the fly off with the whip finisher. So there's the finished fly, and we want to trim just wet it so you can get a good representation where you want to cut. And then now you have your choice of what you want to coat the fly with, from nail polish to UV glue to a UV resin. So I'm just taking a bit of Solaris thin hard resin, and I'm going to lay him, and I've just got to turn it over. Make sure I've got it covered everywhere. So, and then I'm going to take my light and make sure it's zapped well. And there you have the window tint neutral gray Chironomid pupa. I'll tie it down to a 18 2x, and you can tie it all the way up to bomber size as well, but a very effective pattern when there's a bit of gas trapped under the pupal shuck as the Chironomid gets ready to emerge. So tie a few for your fly box. You're going to use them this spring.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.